On August 11, 2026, a super-derecho ripped across the Midwest, but it wasn't just homes it destroyed. One critical industry, the invisible backbone of modern logistics, was completely paralyzed, exposing a systemic vulnerability that cost the economy billions. But how could a single weather event bring down an entire national digital infrastructure layer, leaving countless businesses blind and scrambling? What started as a routine summer day quickly became an unprecedented economic disaster. This wasn't just a storm. It was a digital tsunami that rewrote the rules of business continuity. We're talking about a derecho packing 130-mile-per-hour winds that didn't just knock out power, it exposed a fatal flaw in our interconnected world. Get ready, because the story of August 11th isn't just about weather. It's about the future of commerce. The morning of August 11th started with routine severe weather alerts. But by midday, meteorologists were tracking something far more sinister. A derecho, a monster straight-line windstorm, forming with terrifying speed. This wasn't a tornado. It was a 1,000-mile-long freight train of destruction, hitting major metropolitan areas like Omaha, Kansas City, and St. Louis with Category 3 hurricane-force winds. Imagine entire cities losing power in seconds, not hours. But here's the twist. This derecho's path wasn't random. It swept directly through a cluster of nondescript industrial parks housing several of the nation's most critical yet under-recognized data centers. These weren't just storing cat videos. They were hosting the core logistics and supply chain management software for half the Fortune 500. Power grids failed, yes, but the real shockwave hit when the backup generators at these facilities began to sputter and die, or simply couldn't withstand the sustained wind and debris. Suddenly, billions of dollars of inventory were untraceable. Within hours, the ripple effect was catastrophic. Trucks were stranded not just by downed trees, but because their dispatch systems were offline. Warehouses couldn't process orders because inventory management systems were dark. Major retailers like Apex Goods reported complete paralysis of their distribution networks. Think about it. Every barcode scan, every shipment manifest, every delivery route calculation, all reliant on these now offline digital hubs. Manufacturers already running lean on just-in-time inventory found their entire production lines grinding to a halt because raw materials couldn't be tracked or delivered. The initial estimates of physical damage were dwarfed by the projected economic losses from lost productivity and disrupted trade. It wasn't just a physical bottleneck. It was a digital chokehold on global commerce. One analyst from Global Insights Group called it the most expensive weather event in history, not for what it destroyed, but for what it prevented. The insurance industry braced for impact, but even they weren't prepared for the sheer volume and complexity of claims. It wasn't just property damage. It was business interruption claims on an unprecedented scale, many tied directly to digital infrastructure failure rather than physical destruction. Adjusters were overwhelmed, and payout timelines stretched into months. This crisis, however, sparked an unexpected innovation boom. Suddenly, Resili Tech became the hottest buzzword in venture capital. Startups offering decentralized data storage, satellite-based communication backups, and AI-driven predictive supply chain analytics saw their valuations skyrocket overnight. Companies that had previously dismissed these solutions as overkill were now desperate to invest. Proved that sometimes the greatest disasters are the mothers of invention, but the question remained, why weren't we prepared in the first place? While many businesses faced ruin, a select few not only survived but thrived. Localized, analog-resilient businesses that could operate without constant digital connectivity, think small, independent hardware stores with paper ledgers, or local food suppliers with direct farm-to-consumer routes, saw a surge in demand. But the real winners were the quick-thinking tech companies that offered immediate, albeit temporary, solutions. Satellite internet providers like Skylink Communications saw their subscriber base explode. Companies specializing in emergency data recovery and mobile server units were suddenly indispensable, charging premium rates for their rapid deployment services. One small startup, Offline Ops, which specialized in manual data entry and paper-based tracking systems for disaster scenarios, went from obscurity to a multi-million-dollar valuation in weeks. It was a stark reminder that sometimes old-school resilience beats cutting-edge fragility. If you're finding this deep dive into disaster and resilience valuable, don't miss out on our future content. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you're always in the loop on how global events impact your business and your life. The August 11th, 2026 derecho wasn't just a weather event. It was a wake-up call. It forced us to confront the uncomfortable truth. Our hyper-connected world has built-in vulnerabilities we've largely ignored. The systemic flaw wasn't a single point of failure, but rather the concentration of crucial digital infrastructure in geographically vulnerable corridors, coupled with an over-reliance on single-vendor solutions for critical supply chain software. We built a house of cards, believing our digital defenses were impenetrable. Businesses are now investing billions in decentralization, diverse backup strategies, and multi-region cloud deployments. The lesson is clear. Resilience isn't just about physical infrastructure. It's about building a digital ecosystem that can withstand the unexpected. What steps are you taking to future-proof your business? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear this warning.